Is my retirement account a form of investment? Regularly putting money into a retirement account is a form of investing and is a wise thing to do. Most of us hope to be considered investors when our working years are over, but for the sake of this book, the I quadrant represent a person whose incomes come from investment during their working years. In reality, most people are not investing in a retirement account. Most are saving money in their retirement account, hoping that when they retire there will be more money coming out than they put in. There is a difference between people who save money in their retirement account and people who through investing actively use their money to make. Are stockbrokers more money as income? Are stockbrokers investors? Many people who are advisors in the investment world are, by definition, not really people who generate their income from the I quadrant. For example, most stockbrokers, real estate agents, financial advisors, bankers, and accountants are predominantly is, or as in other words, their incomes come from their professional work, not necessarily from assets they own. I also have friends who are stock traders. They buy stocks low and hope to sell high. In reality, their profession is trading, much like a person who owns a retail shop and buys items at wholesale and sell them at retail. There is still something they physically must do, generate the money, so they would fit more into the S quadrant than the I quadrant. Can all of these people be investors? The answer is yes, but it is important to know the difference between someone who earns money from commission or sales advice by the hour, or give advice for a salary or tries to buy low and sell high, and someone who earns money from spotting or creating good investment. There's one way to find out how good your advisors are. Ask them what percentage of their incomes comes from commission or fees for their advice versus income that comes from passive income. Income from their investment or other business they own. I have several CPA friends who tell me without violating client confidently that many professional investment advisors have little in the way of income from investment. In other words, they do not practice what they preach. Advantages of income from the I quadrant. So, the primary distinction of people who earned their money from the I quadrant is that they focus on having their money make money. If they are good at it, they can have that money work for them and for their family for hundreds of years. Beside the obvious advantage of knowing how to make money with money and not having to get up and go to work, there also are many tax advantages that are not available to people who have to work for their money. On the reasons the rich get richer is because they sometimes can make millions and legally not put taxes on the money. That's because they make money in the asset column, not in the income column. Or they make money as investors, not workers. For people who work for money, not only are they often taxed at higher rates, their taxes are withheld from their wages and they never see that portion of their income. Why aren't more people investors? The I quadrant is the quadrant for working less, earning more, and paying less in taxes. So why aren't more people investors? the same reason many people do not start their own business. It can be summed up in one word: risk. Many people do not like the idea of handling over their hard earned money and not having it come back. Many people are afraid of losing. They choose not to invest or risk their money at all, no matter how much. Many people do not like the idea of handling over their hard earned money and not having it come back. Many people are so afraid of losing they choose not to invest or risk their money at all, no matter how much money they could make in return. A Hollywood celebrity once said, "It's not return on the investment that I worry about, it's the return of the investment." This fear of losing money seems to divide investors into four broad categories. Number one, the people who are risk adverse and do nothing but play it safe, keeping their money in the bank. Number two, people who turn the job of investing over to someone else, such as financial advisor or mutual fund manager. Number three, gamblers. Number four, investors. The difference between a gambler and an investor is this: for a gambler, investing is a game of chance; for investors, investing is a game of skills. And for the people who turn their money over to someone else to invest, investing is often a game they do not want to learn. The important thing for these individuals to choose a financial advisor carefully. In an upcoming chapter, this book will go into the seven levels of investors, which should shed more light on the subject. Risks can be virtually eliminated. The book The good news about investing is that risks can be greatly minimized or even eliminated, and you can still receive high yields on your money. If you know the game, a true investor will be hard speaking these words. How soon do I get my money back, and how much income will I receive for the rest of my life after I get that initial investment money back? A true investor wants to know how soon they get their money back. People who have retirement account have to wait years to find out if they will ever get their money back. This is the most extreme difference between professional investors and someone who sets money aside for retirement. It is the fear of losing money that causes most people to seek security, yet the I quadrant is not as treacherous as many people think. The I quadrant is like any other quadrant, it has its own skills and mindset. The skill to be successful in the I quadrant can be learned if you are willing to take the time to learn them. A new age begins. In 1989, the Berlin Wall came down. In the history of the world, that was one of the most important events, more than signifying the failure of communism. In my opinion, at that event marked the official end of the industrial age and the beginning of the information age. The difference between industrial age pension plans and information age pension plans. The age of Columbus in 1492 roughly coincides with the start of the industrial age. The fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989 in the event that marked the end of that age. For some reason, it seems that every 500 years in modern history, great cataclysmic changes have occurred. We are in one such period right now. That change has already threatened the financial security of hundreds of millions of people, most of whom are not yet aware of the financial impact of that change, and many of whom cannot afford it. The changes is found in the difference between an industrial age pension plan and the information age pension plan. When I was a boy, my rich dad encouraged me to take risks with my money and learn to invest. He would always say, if you want to get rich, you need to learn how to take risks and learn to be an investor. At home, I told my educated dad about my rich dad's suggestion that we learned how to invest and learn to manage risk. My educated dad replied, I don't need to learn how to invest. I have a government pension plan, a pension from the teachers union and the social security benefits granted. Why take risks with the money? My educated dad believe in industrial age pension plans such as government employee pensions and social security. He was happy when I was signed up for the US Marine Corps instead of being worried that I might lose my life in Vietnam. He simply said, stay in for 20 years and you will get a pension and medical benefits for life. Although still in use, such pension plans officially have become obsolete. The idea of a company being financially responsible for our retirement and the government picking up the balance for our retirement needs through pension schemes is an old idea that is no longer valid. People needs to become investors. As we move from defined benefit pension plan or what I call industrial age retirement plan to defined contribution pension plan or information age pension plan, the result is that you as an individual must now be financially responsible for yourself. Few people have noticed the change. Industrial age pension plan. In the industrial age, a defined benefit pension plans meant that the company guaranteed you, the worker, a definite amount of money, usually paid monthly, for as long as you live. People felt secure because these plans assured a steady income.